On a rainy afternoon, Keanu Reeves steps into an old art supply store in a secluded corner of the city. Inside, 12-year-old Noah is tremblingly counting the coins he saved to buy the special ceramic kiln his mother Clara dreams of for her birthday. But the figure on the kiln's price tag is about to shatter Noah's hopes. Just then, Keanu's warm voice is heard. "Hey there, young man. Is something wrong?" This encounter, beginning with simple kindness, will ignite an unimaginable act of goodwill, transforming a young boy's fading hope into a miracle that changes everything. Before we continue this incredible story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. The streets of Los Angeles, usually bathed in sunshine, were that day captive to a stubborn autumn rain. The sky, like a leaden quilt, was spread over the city, each drop whispering notes of melancholy against windows and pavements. It was on such a day, in a lesser-known, bohemian side street of the city, where artists and small artisans sought refuge, that Keanu Reeves, wearing a dark, hooded raincoat and a cap shadowing his face, was curiously examining shop windows. He was seeking inspiration for a new film project. The character he was to portray was an artist who chased his dreams but grappled with life's hardships. And Keanu, as always, wanted to breathe the spirit of that world, to feel the atmosphere those characters lived in before stepping into the role. These side streets, these small, independent shops, gave him that sense of reality he was looking for. But at that moment, he was unaware of what kind of reality he was about to encounter, what poignant story he was about to witness. His steps led him to a modest but inviting shop named the Dream Workshop, its window displaying handmade ceramics, colorful paints, and various art supplies. The old bell on the shop's door made a nostalgic chime as Keanu entered. Inside, in contrast to the gloom of the rain outside, it was warm and bright. The air was filled with the scent of freshly fired clay, mixed with a faint aroma of turpentine and paint. The walls were adorned with ceramics made by local artists, paintings, and handcrafted objects. This was a place far from money and ostentation, a space where only art and labor spoke. For a moment, Keanu lost himself in the magic of this atmosphere. Would he find the inspiration he was looking for here? Or would this shop open a completely different door for him? In the farthest corner of the shop, behind a large glass display, stood an eye-catching ceramic kiln. It was modern, with a shiny metal surface, a professional kiln of the kind every ceramic artist dreams of. And in front of that kiln, his back to Keanu, stood a boy of about 12. This was Noah. He was wearing his school uniform, and on his back was a slightly worn school bag. The boy was gazing at the kiln with such great admiration, such deep longing, that he didn't even notice Keanu enter. He had opened a small cloth pouch in his hand, poured all the coins into his palm, and was counting them with trembling fingers, whispering softly. Hope and anxiety flickered across his face. Keanu watched the boy silently for a while. There was an indefinable poignancy in this scene. The boy's innocent admiration, that small fortune he had hoarded, and that enormous ceramic kiln. What kind of connection could there be between them? What was this child's story? And why did an inexplicable tenderness and desire to help awaken in his heart for this little boy? When Noah finished counting, his shoulders slumped in disappointment. The money in his palm couldn't even come close to that merciless figure on the kiln's price tag. His eyes welled up. He swallowed, bowing his head. At that moment, it was as if all his dreams had been shattered. His mother, Clara, her beautiful, talented hands that created ceramics, This kiln was his mother's biggest dream, to set up her own small workshop, to fire her beautiful creations and share them with people. Noah had been saving every penny for months for this kiln. His mother's birthday was approaching, and by gifting her this kiln, he wanted to see that sparkle return to her often sorrowful eyes. But it hadn't worked out. He didn't have enough money. This bitter truth pierced his little heart like a dagger. Just then, Keanu Reeves' warm, reassuring voice was heard. "Hey there, young man," Keanu said, gently approaching the boy. "Is something wrong? Is there anything I can help you with?" Noah flinched and lifted his head. He was surprised to see this stranger standing before him, whose kindness and concern were palpable even from beneath the shadow of his cap. He tried to wipe the tears from his eyes. No, nothing, sir," he stammered. "I was just looking." But the tremor in his voice betrayed everything. Keanu understood the boy was not telling the whole truth. His eyes shifted from Noah's small cloth pouch to the shiny ceramic kiln in the display case. And at that moment, he understood everything. This child's heart was filled with a great love for his mother and a desire to make her happy. But this desire had collided with a harsh reality. Something tugged at Keanu's heartstrings. He couldn't allow this innocent dream to fade away so easily. But how could he help? Was there a way to genuinely offer hope to the boy without hurting his pride? As these questions searched for answers in Keanu's mind, Noah's downcast eyes were like a silent cry for help. And Keanu knew he couldn't remain indifferent to that cry. On this rainy afternoon, in this small art supply store, was an unexpected miracle about to be born? "You don't quite look like you're just looking, young man," Keanu said, a gentle smile on his face. "Your eyes seem to be fixated on that beautiful ceramic kiln and those coins in your palm. I believe you have a dream, don't you?" Noah was surprised at how this stranger understood so much. His cheeks flushed. He slowly nodded his head in affirmation. "It's for my mom," he whispered, his voice still trembling. "My mom, Clara. She's a ceramic artist, you know? She makes the most beautiful things in the world. Vases, sculptures, plates. But she doesn't have her own kiln. She always dreams of it. Her own little workshop. Her own kiln. Her birthday is coming up. I wanted to gift her this kiln, but..." He couldn't finish his sentence. A lump formed in his throat. He squeezed the coins in his palm even tighter. Those coins now seemed so meaningless to him. Keanu gently touched the boy's shoulder. "I understand," he said. "I can see how much you love your mom and want to make her happy. That's a very precious wish, Noah." The fact that Keanu knew his name surprised Noah even more. Who was this man really? And why was he so interested in him? These questions fueled Noah's childlike curiosity. "Well, Noah," Keanu continued, looking thoughtfully at the kiln, "is this kiln really that important for your mom to realize her dreams? I mean, if she can fire her pieces in other workshops." This was an innocent question, but the underlying curiosity revealed Keanu's desire to delve deeper into this family's story. "Oh yes," Noah exclaimed, his eyes lighting up. "Mom always says that the ceramics she makes without her own kiln can't reach their full potential. If she had her own kiln, she could work whenever she wanted, however she wanted. She could try new things, make bigger pieces, and maybe one day she could even open her own little ceramic shop. Mom always says, art is food for the soul, Noah. But if you can't share that food with others, after a while, your soul starves too. I don't want my mom's soul to starve." These words had touched Keanu's heart. This child was not just after buying a gift. He was after nourishing his mother's soul, giving wings to her dreams. and this was a wish Keanu couldn't ignore. But how could he help? Simply buying the kiln and gifting it might perhaps offend Clara's pride. He had to find a more delicate, more meaningful way. But what? As he searched for an answer to this question, his eyes fell on the elderly owner of the shop. The man had been silently watching them from behind his counter. His face bore a curious yet wise expression. Keanu turned to Noah. "Noah," he said, "could I see some of the ceramics your mother makes? Or maybe I could meet her?" This was an impromptu idea, but perhaps the right step. Noah's face lit up instantly. "Really?" he asked, his eyes sparkling. Mom would be so happy. Our house is very close, just a few blocks away. And yes, she has made many beautiful things. I can show you." The hopeless expression on the child's face had completely vanished, replaced by excitement and joy. Keanu smiled. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for. "A wonderful idea," he said. "But first, let's clarify this kiln issue. Perhaps if we talk to the shop owner, we can find a solution." Keanu, along with Noah, walked towards the elderly owner of the shop. The man greeted them with a gentle smile. Keanu briefly explained the situation, Noah's love for his mother, the money he had saved, and the need for that ceramic kiln. The old man listened to Keanu carefully. Then he turned to Noah, a tender expression in his eyes. "So your mother is a ceramic artist, is she, young man?" he asked. Noah nodded excitedly. "And you want to gift her this kiln with the money you saved yourself. That's truly admirable." The old man thought for a moment. Then, with an enigmatic smile on his face, he turned to Keanu. "You know, sir," he said, "this kiln has been sitting here for a long time. Maybe it was waiting for its new owner. And I think, for this little gentleman's mother, we can make a small artist's discount on the price. What do you say?" Keanu understood what the old man meant. This was a polite way of saying, "I too want to be a part of this good deed." "That would be wonderful," Keanu said gratefully. "I'm sure Ms. Clara and her son Noah will be very grateful to you." And so, that special discount was arranged. The money Noah had saved exactly covered the discounted price of the kiln. Noah was over the moon with joy. He couldn't believe it. His dream, which had seemed impossible just moments ago, was now about to come true. And all this had happened thanks to these two kind strangers. But what Noah didn't know was that the real generosity behind this special discount belonged to Keanu Reeves. And the surprises Keanu had planned for Clara and Noah were not over yet. This was just the beginning. The real story was just starting now. What other beauties, what other miracles would that first step taken in that small shop lead to? This was a secret hidden by time and Keanu's big heart. Later that rainy afternoon, Noah felt as if he were walking on clouds. Under one arm was the huge box of the magnificent ceramic kiln he had bought for his mother, Clara, carried, of course, with the gentle help of Keanu and the shop owner. And in his other hand was Keanu Reeves's warm, reassuring hand. The rain had long stopped, and a pale sunlight seeping through the clouds glistened on the wet pavements. For Noah, at that moment, the world was brighter, more hopeful than ever before. This mysterious yet so kind-hearted stranger, Mr. Keanu, had entered his and his mother's life like a miracle. But why? Why was he helping them so much? Although these questions occupied Noah's childlike mind, they couldn't overshadow the pure happiness and excitement he felt at that moment. When they arrived at their modest but love-filled home a few blocks away, Noah excitedly knocked on the door. Clara, who opened the door, was surprised to see this unfamiliar yet somehow familiar face standing next to her son. Keanu Reeves stood before her in all his simplicity and kindness. "Hello, Miss Clara," Keanu said, that heartfelt smile still on his face. "I'm Keanu. Noah and I had a little adventure, and I wanted to accompany him home to share this good news with you together. Clara was speechless for a moment. One of Hollywood's biggest stars was at the door of her humble home, and beside him stood her son, Noah, his face beaming with joy and pride. Please, please come in, Mr. Reeves, she stammered, still unable to recover from the shock and excitement of the event. She didn't know what to say, how to act. As they entered, Noah couldn't hold back any longer and exclaimed with excitement, Mom! Mom! Look what I got you! Your birthday present came a little early this year. And he pointed to the enormous kiln box. Clara couldn't believe her eyes. That kiln, the ceramic kiln she had dreamed of for years, that she thought she could never own, was now standing in her living room. Her eyes welled up, and warm tears began to stream down her cheeks. She first ran to Noah and hugged him tightly, then turned to Keanu with grateful eyes. But how? She whispered, her voice trembling. This is impossible. Keanu gently explained what had happened. Noah's pure love for his mother, the money he had saved, and the special artist's discount from the shop owner. But Clara, as an experienced woman, felt that something was missing in this story. She knew the price of that kiln, and it was impossible to buy it with the few coins Noah had saved. This kind stranger, whose eyes radiated goodness, must have had a big share in this. Mr. Keanu, she said, her voice a mixture of deep gratitude and shy inquiry. Why are you doing such a great favor for us? Why did you go to so much trouble for us? How can we ever repay you for this? Keanu paused for a moment. His eyes scanned the humbly furnished room, then rested on a modest shelf in a corner, covered with a thin layer of dust, where Clara's elegant, handmade ceramics stood. Each piece bore the traces of a soul, a passion, and great talent. Then he turned to Clara. Ms. Clara, he said, his voice more serious, more thoughtful this time. I have always had endless respect for art and the artist who passionately practices it. Noah told me what a talented, what an original ceramic artist you are, how devoted you are to this work. And I couldn't bear the thought of such a precious talent, such a heartfelt passion, being overshadowed, being lost, merely due to financial difficulties. He paused, then continued. Sometimes in life, in the most unexpected moments, we meet the right people at the right time. And those encounters can change the course of our lives. I just tried to be one of those right people, to make a small difference. Clara was even more moved by Keanu's sincere, humble, and equally wise words. This man was not only generous and helpful, but also possessed an extremely understanding and deep soul. His words had reignited Clara's love for art, that passion for creation, which she had suppressed within her for years. I don't know how to thank you, how to express my gratitude, Mr. Reeves, Clara said, tears streaming down her cheeks like a river. This is not just a kiln. This is a new hope for us, a new beginning. The real thanks are due to you, Ms. Clara, Keanu said, with that enigmatic yet equally reassuring smile on his face. The unique works of art that will come from your beautiful, talented hands will be the most beautiful gift offered to the world. And I can't wait to see those works, to witness them inspire others. Then, as if a new idea had just occurred to him, his eyes sparkled as he added, Actually, I have a much bigger, much more exciting idea concerning your art, your story. If you also find it suitable, I would like to share it with you. Clara and Noah looked at Keanu with curiosity and excitement. What was this big idea in this mysterious man's mind? What other surprises, what other miracles would this unexpected encounter bring them? Keanu's calm yet determined demeanor was like the harbinger of something big and beautiful. And say, and at that moment, Clara deeply felt that her life was about to change, not just with a new ceramic kiln, but with much more, in a way she could never have imagined. This wasn't just a helping hand, it was also the herald of the magnificent revival of a forgotten dream. So, what was Keanu's big, exciting idea? And where would this idea take Clara's art from the confines of her modest workshop? Keanu Reeves's idea, which he explained to Clara and Noah in that modest living room right next to the new ceramic kiln, seemed like a dream to both of them at first. Unbelievable, unattainable, yet so exciting. Keanu would not only gift a ceramic kiln and provide financial support for Clara to set up her own small workshop, but he would also do something to bring her unique art and poignant life story to wider audiences. The project he had in mind went far beyond a simple workshop aid. "Look, Miss Clara," Keanu had said, his voice reflecting both a businessman's determination and an art lover's passion. "It's a great loss, not just for you, but for the entire art world and our society. When valuable, original artists like you give up on their dreams merely due to financial difficulties or lack of recognition. I want your sincerity, your talent, and this strong bond of love between you and Noah to reach more people, to touch their hearts, and to inspire them. Therefore, if you agree, I have a documentary filmmaker friend who values such human stories and art. I was thinking of talking to her and proposing to shoot a short but impressive documentary film about your life, your artistic journey, and this beautiful relationship you have with Noah. This film would not only promote your art, but could also encourage many other hidden talents like yours." Clara was almost speechless at what she heard. A documentary film about her life and her art? This was something she could never have imagined. She was just a modest woman, making ceramics as it came from her heart. She had never thought she was worthy of such great attention, such promotion. But the sincere belief, the genuine excitement in Keanu's eyes, had revived those suppressed hopes within Clara. The tears streaming from her old eyes this time were not just of gratitude, but also of a new excitement. "Mr. Keanu," she whispered, her voice trembling, This offer of yours is so big, so precious for me. I don't know what to say. If you truly believe my story is worth telling." "I absolutely believe it, Ms. Clara," Keanu said with determination. "Your story is not just that of an artist, but also of a mother, a human being's struggle to hold on to life and the power of love, and this is worth telling to the whole world." And so, the chain of events that began with Keanu Reeves's unexpected visit took on a brand new, exciting dimension. Keanu kept his word. The very next day, he called his award-winning documentary filmmaker friend, Ms. Evelyn Hayes. This is a new character, a successful female director, not the antique shop owner from the Luthier story, and told her about Clara's story. Ms. Hayes was so moved by what Keanu recounted that she immediately agreed to take on this project. Within a few weeks, filming began in Clara and Noah's small home, and in that charming ceramic workshop they had quickly set up with Keanu's support, naming it Clara's Hope Workshop. Ms. Hayes and her crew entered Clara and Noah's life so gently, with such respect, that both of them almost forgot the presence of the cameras. Clara, with her most heartfelt emotions, spoke of her art, her dreams, the hardships she had endured, and that deep love she had for Noah. Noah, with his childlike innocence and big heart, once again showed that he was his mother's biggest supporter and source of inspiration. Keanu Reeves also visited them frequently during the filming, sometimes just as a silent observer, sometimes joining Clara by dipping his hands in clay, becoming a partner in this process. His presence was a great source of morale and motivation for both Clara and the entire crew. After months of dedicated work, the documentary, which they titled The Spirit of Clay, Clara's Story, was completed. The film was first screened at a small, independent film festival and unexpectedly met with great interest. It received accolades from critics, touched the hearts of audiences. Clara's sincere story, her unique works of art, and that pure bond of love between her and Noah had deeply affected people. Following this success, Ms. Evelyn Hayes, using her connections, organized a solo exhibition for Clara in one of New York's most prestigious modern art galleries. This was the pinnacle of Clara's dreams. The thought of her own works being displayed in such a reputable venue, meeting art lovers, was an indescribable happiness for her. On the opening night of the exhibition, the gallery was packed. Important names from the art world, collectors, critics, and of course, Clara's neighbors and friends from that small neighborhood. Everyone was there. Clara, wearing a simple but elegant dress adorned with a ceramic brooch she had made herself, chosen by her son Noah, greeted her guests with a mixture of excitement and pride. Beside her, as always, was Keanu Reeves, who had come to support her. Keanu, with his usual modest demeanor, tried not to attract too much attention among the crowd, directing all the interest towards Clara. In her short but poignant speech that night, Clara, with tears in her eyes, said, "If I am standing here tonight among these beautiful works, this is not just my success. This is the success of everyone who believed in me, who gave me hope, who gave me the courage to pursue my dreams. I am especially grateful to that special person who entered my life like an angel on a rainy day and gave me back not just a kiln, but a lost dream." Her eyes found Keanu standing modestly among the crowd. The entire hall, at that moment, witnessed that silent but powerful bond between these two people. Keanu just smiled. For him, the greatest happiness was to be able to touch a person's life, to witness the realization of their dreams. And at that moment, he understood once again that true wealth was not measured by the numbers in bank accounts, but by the imprints left on hearts. Clara's Hope Workshop was the most beautiful proof of this. That small step taken in that small shop that rainy day had now turned into a huge river of art and hope, continuing to touch many more hearts with its flow. And so, the helping hand Keanu Reeves unexpectedly extended didn't just stop at a ceramic kiln. It rekindled a mother's faded dreams, gave hope and courage to a child, and introduced an artist's name to the whole world. Clara's story proves once again that when we believe in our inner passion and dreams, and when we meet the right people, no obstacle is insurmountable. This inspiring tale demonstrates the healing power of art, the transformative effect of kindness, and how even a single person can make a huge difference in the world. Until we meet again in the next inspiring story on Beyond the Story, stay filled with love and hope.